What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's beautiful project. Probably not looking so beautiful at the moment, but the BMW M3 E30, the Lit Edition version 2. It's our second time of doing this car, or the BMW, not the Lit Edition version 2. We've done the normal Lit Edition, but not the Lit Edition of version 2, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of differences we've got. One of the most obvious ones is the version 2 has the V8 double overhead cam AXK engine with 403 factory horsepower in this insane beast, and I cannot wait to get stuck into that one. It's obviously in pretty bad condition. We got it from the auction house. The best part is the interior at 45% there, but did we get a good deal on the rest of this one? No, of course we didn't. I bought it for 51,002 and could sell it for 47,725, losing out on 3,277 before we even begin. But it looks cool, and I cannot wait to get stuck into this little beast. Obviously, new signage dotted up and around. You'll notice them in the background. We did cover this one in the last episode, and now, thanks to the last episode, the Lamborghini Nitro 120 is the new speederboard champion. I don't think that's going to get knocked off anytime soon. Sadly, French Toasted Speederboard Crusher got knocked down a peg, and so did my LNT Calope, got knocked down a peg as well. But there we go. Let's get into this beautiful BMW. Let's get it over to the car wash. Let's get this beast cleaned up. Here we are in the car wash with our beautiful BMW. Let's get it cleaned. Off you go. What sort of colour is this underneath the dust and grime? Is that a lovely white? That is quite a nice white, actually. Not what we're going to go with today. I already have an idea, and to be fair, you've already seen the thumbnail, so you know exactly what's going down. But let's get this beast back onto the lifter, get that V8 ripped out of there, get everything else stripped down. The BMW's up on the lifter. We need to check for that oil pan, but I can see from here that it isn't here, so we're not going to need the oil drain. In fact, I can see there is a lot missing from that engine, but it is what it is. Anything missing from the front suspension that might be important? Doesn't look like it. Let's just get in and start with this beautiful drive shaft. Out you come with your one rusty bolt just down there. Not too bad. And no rusty bolts at the front. Can't complain at that. Although we are missing a starter. Add that to the shopping list now so that we don't forget it. And let's get this big old gearbox out of here. And then rip that engine block out. Not much on it, so it should be quite light. And I could probably do it by hand, but I'm going to do it with the engine crane nonetheless. So let's get you over here. Get you opened up. Nice, it opens up reversed. I like that. And get you pulled out and hit the crane away. And then we'll see what we got going on in this engine bay. Although I believe it is next to nothing because we've got, I believe, everything missing. Air filter, wishy-washy reservoir, radiator, fuse box, ECU, brake servo, coolant reservoir, battery, power steering reservoir, and obviously the ABS pump and the module in there as well. Both missing. Battery's missing. Fuel tank and fuel pump is missing. And all of that exhaust is missing out the back there as well. So there's quite a bit missing from the engine bay, which means we've got no liquids to drain. But on the plus side, the suspension all looks pretty complete, so that shouldn't be too bad. We've got to get all of that stripped out. Make sure I've got everything to go back in the engine bay first. But then we'll get all of that stripped out and then come back and work on the beautiful BMW's stunning wide body bodywork. That's everything on the M3 repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on and make this one a little bit insane. But to carry on, we need to get this bodywork sorted. So let's get it all stripped down. Off with the fenders and that hood. Anything else along there? Doesn't look like it. Windshield. That's definitely a side skirt. Quite a big one on there. No door. Body window. Rear bumper. Trunk spoiler lights. Trunk spoiler. And something else, but I didn't quite see what it was. Out with them tail lights. We'll grab that license plate as well. Nice Jurassic Park plate there. Rear body fender, side skirt, door, window, and mirror. And that should be everything external. Is that different? No, that's on the frame. That's okay. Let's get in and get this interior out then. Front seat and steering wheel. Obviously, we're missing the other front. No, just the singular seat in this one. No secondary seat. That seems a bit bizarre, but there we go. No secondary seat for that one on there today. How do I get back into normal mode? I keep pressing all the buttons. My mind went completely blank there. Rear benches in, so I'm going to try probably keep them front seats as they were. They looked very similar. That's probably what we're going to go for. But let's have a look. Did we get everything? Down to 1% on there and nothing showing up on there. So we have got everything. Frames at 14%. And I bought the car for a little over 50,000. I'd say this is going to sell for more than 100,000. So I'm going to go 1250. 2.5, way off on our little M3. Let's have a look at the body shop for this one. A few different parts. Obviously, the spoilers, we just looked at one of them. Probably going to go with that big old spoiler on the back there. It really fits it. Definitely these wide body parts because I'm quite liking it. Looking good. Wide body front bumper. So we'll have to see how this one goes back together to see which one we have. Then we've got the grills, the normal grill or the front end. And then with the black kidney, as it's been called on there. Evil look, a bit further around, more different options there. Just the normal doors, but it is what it is. We don't need to tinted windows because we can just tint windows separately anyway now. So just the normal windows is fine. Obviously back on with them wide body fenders. A couple of different hood options to play around with. I'm not quite sure what we're going to go with yet. We'll figure that one out. I am liking the look of this though, with a little air vent in there as well. For the right side, I believe that's where the air filter is on this vehicle. Couple of options for the tail lights. They look exactly the same. Oh, I can see it now. The light reversing light I see isn't on that one as much. There is a little bit, but there we go. Wide body rear bumpers. There's a couple of them, so we'll have to see which one we like. Quite like the ones with the diffuser at the end there. And obviously wide body rear arches. More headlights, more tail lights. A couple of trunk options and a couple of windshield options in there. But there we go. All sorted. We need to get all our body panels repaired and back together so we can take this beast into the paint shop and see what we're going to do with this beautiful BMW. Let's go then. Time to get this beautiful BMW all back together so we can get it into the paint shop. Let's get started. We went for Hood E on this one today. I quite like the vents in it and a blacked out badge. You know how much I like black badges. For the front end, we went for the evil look, black big kidneys on there. Looking pretty sweet. Front bumper is the front bumper F, which is the last wide body one on the list there. Then for our right headlight, we've got the tinted one with the little vent in there, looking pretty cool. And then for the right headlight, just the normal tinted ones with the black rims, looking pretty sweet. On with this side, we've got the fenders, one this side and one this side. Let's get down here. Obviously the normal door and then the wide body side skirts on there, along with the wide body rear fender. In with the two body windows and then that wing mirror at the front here, just the normal wing mirror. There's two options. There's the paintable one, which I'm assuming is that one, and then a grayed out one in there. For the windshield, we went for the M badged windshield because it is an M car and you do like to show off that information when you've got it. In with the rear window on there, and then for the trunk, we went for the normal trunk with the BMW badge and the M3 badge on there as well. Rear bumper is the D rear bumper with the diffuser down at the bottom and looking quite nice. Then we got the tinted tail lights with the reversing light in there. Although for drag racing, we don't really need it. So I guess we could have left that part out, but never mind. Spoiler is part 1E, the big old spoiler that came on it in the first place. Then we got the wide body fender, the door, and the side skirt. Back on this side, in with the window, and then on with that mirror. And that should be everything apart from the license plates. We will come back to them in a moment. Let's get the interior in. As I said, I was just leaving it as the seat that it was in there because it fits in with that rear. We also left the steering wheel as well because it's a nice one. But you can see the sort of separation on the seats on the rear bit there kind of matches in with the separation on the front-ish, maybe. So we left it at that. We'll probably try and add a bit of colour a little bit later on. Let's get on with these license plates then. For the front license plate, we've gone for Don't Drink, slightly abbreviated just to make sure it fits on there. And down at the back, we've got the license plate that says, and drive. So don't drink and drive. That will all make sense in just a moment when we get into the paint shop and get that beautiful livery onto it. Now the don't drink and drive makes sense. We've gone for this beautiful Jägermeister livery from RobG. Looking absolutely fantastic. Available on the Steam Workshop. There will be a link in the description below if you want to go and grab this one for yourself. The livery doesn't actually come in the orange. Just comes with all the lettering and bits around it. The colour, you can add whichever colour you like. Obviously, we went for a classic Jägermeister orange. It does show you how to get the colour if you follow all the instructions properly. A few other additional bits. So we've also got a bit of orange on the seats. We have swapped the seats. I went for the solid colour black ones. I have changed them to the first level ones, which have a white insert, which then obviously we've added orange to. And we've added a little bit of black on that steering wheel as well. Looking pretty good. If we open the hood, nice combination of black and orange in there. Lovely black wall across the front. So whenever you're looking from the engine from the front, you'll be able to add plenty of oranges in, a little bit of white, and a little bit of black in there if you want to. Hopefully, we're going to make this one look awesome. So I'm now going to crack on, get everything painted, then we can start reassembly when we get this beast back on the lifter. There she is, the beautiful BMW M3 E30, ready to go with all the paint. We got everything painted, so let's just crack on. We got white shocks, orange springs, and white caps, and they are looking very, very good in there. Very impressed with them. Let's get in underneath, and for those of you that have noticed, my voice is a little bit different to the very last clip that you have just watched, because I pre-recorded that on Wednesday. On Sunday. Now I'm back from Electric Cool Boy to finish the video and get it ready to go for Wednesday. So I might sound a little bit different from here on inwards. I've lost my voice a little bit singing along, as you do when you go to a show. Very amazing show. Anyone that hasn't seen them definitely should, if that's the kind of music you're into. So let's get on with it. Orange front suspension cross member on there. Then we've got a white sway bar with a black steering rack, looking nice. Just a spread of all three colours in there. Let's get them rubber bushings in. In you go, and in you go. Then we've got the front steering knuckle in a beautiful orange, with the inner tie rod in a white and the outer tie rod just in a little black. Again, spreading the colours all across throughout there. Lower suspension arm is in a white with all your rubber bushings. In you go. Looking fantastic. And then we got that shock in the white with the orange springs. Very compressed, so you can't really see the springs very well, but they are in there. And it does look good. Sway bar end links just in a little black. On you go. And we've got the knuckle cover in a black with the front wheel hub also in a black on there. In you go. And then we've got wheel hub bearing, brake disc, a wheel hub cap. It's just in a cheeky little white with brake pads and an orange brake caliper on there. Very, very dark in this sort of quite shaded area. So let's put a tiny little bit of light on it. There we go. That's all looking a bit brighter, a bit more orange there. Bit too white. The white's a bit too bright. Struggled to get that out a little bit. I do apologise. But there we go. Looking fantastic. Let's move down the back. If I can get down there. There we go. Get the rear suspension cross member in that orange. And then we got the knuckle also in the orange. The same as the front. Sway bar end links in a white. And if we spin around to the other side, we can get most of these rubber bushings in. The little one down at the bottom. Two main ones at the top, and there is another one in this sidearm up here, which we'll come to in a moment. The lower suspension arm on there is in a white. Then we've got the spring cap in a black, slightly opposite to the front there, but with an orange spring. And then we got a little white topper just on top of it to finish it off. Sway bar end link at the back is in a black. There we go. And then we've got the shock absorber in a bright white on there, looking very nice, with the upper suspension arm in a black, just to sort of keep it separated. I did initially try it with this white and decided it looked way too white and it was too much. The rear suspension arm is in another little white down there. On you go. And then we've got the rear suspension arm coming out the side, which is in a beautiful orange. Orange onto the orange, but this arm does look pretty good in the orange. In with that bushing. Then we've got the wheel hub, the hubcap, or the hub bearing, wheel hub, whatever you want to call it, mixed up in this one again. Just in a cheeky little back with the hub bearing in there. Then we've got a brake disc, lovely rear drive axle, just in a cheeky little black, looking pretty smart as always. Brake pad, and then you've already seen it, the orange brake caliper on there, really just to finish it off. Looks a lot better down the back here, just with a bit more light coming in through the ceiling lights, looking wonderful up there, looking pretty good. Let's crack on. Fuel tank in a little black with the fuel pump just in an orange on there. That's a much brighter orange. That's more body-coloured orange. I might show you that now, actually. If you look, these are officially the same orange, but look how bright that is, even if we put torch on it. This is a lot lighter than all of this in here. It's a little bit darker, sort of more closely matches in with the engine bay, but that bodywork still looks fantastic, though. I am very, very pleased with it. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of the suspension all finished, then we'll come back and work on that beautiful engine bay before we go and build that beautiful V8. Very pleased with that suspension in there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Orange, black and white is a colour combination you can't really go wrong with. Also got the fuse box in. That's in a cheeky little white as well. I have got the torch on because it is quite dark, especially on that front brake caliper in there. So it's hard to see the colours. But never mind. Let's jump in and get this engine bay all sorted. Obviously, we've already got the fuse box in. ECU is stage 3 type A just down there. Brake servo up there and a coolant reservoir in you go. Power steering reservoir in you go. And the other reservoir, the wishy-washy reservoir, just up there at the front. On with the battery, which we have got in our hands, obviously. ABS pumps in an orange, very metallic-y orange. And the module on the top is just in a little black. On you go there, just separating them up a little bit. Remember, this back wall is black, so we got orange on the black on there, looking good. The air filter That is in a cheeky little white. It looks absolutely fantastic. I love the air filter in white. It just looks really good. Adds a little bit to the engine bay as well. Let's get the clips on. They're just in a cheeky little black just to separate them up a little bit. Could have done them in orange, but the rest of the engine bay is pretty orange. So, you know, just trying to separate it up just a little bit. Front radiator also in the metallic orange, just like the ABS and pump just there. Then we got the fan housing kit in a black with 2 chrome orange fans. You already knew that was coming. I pretty much always do the fans in a chrome body variant in there, looking good. I think that's pretty much all of it. We do need to go and build that beautiful V8 to go in there, but it is looking pretty good. How's that ABS pump and module looking on the back wall? Nice little glow of that metallic-y orange just in there. Looking, oh, stuck on the crane. Looking very, very nice. But now let's go in and build that V8 engine. In we go. We've got the block in a beautiful orange on there. It's not quite gloss orange the same as the body. It's a custom. Fiddled with it a little bit just to try and get these bits here in the orange looking good. Oil pans in the black, and the 2 heads are both in a black with the little red accents showing. As you can see on this one, we've got all of the innards filled in. We're just missing the 2 cam gears on the end. I'll just quickly talk about them. So it's 4 camshafts in total, 2 on each side, 8 spark plugs in total, 4 on each side, and 4 cam gears in total, 2 on each side. So once you've got all of them in, you can then add the timing chains on. So I'm going to crack on, get the rest of this finished. I'll see you in a second. There we go, nice and simple. Let's just get the timing belts on, 1 on this side, 1 on the other side, and then we can get this big old timing cover on the front here, which is in a beautiful, lovely white on there, looking fantastic. Very impressed with that. Black, white, and orange looks good set up there. Then we've got the water pump, which is in an orange, just to kind of separate that up a little bit. Everything else visible right now is in black. We will come back to it in just a moment, but let's move up to the engine heads. Or engine head covers, should I say. They are in a black. I was going to do them orange, but I did decide against it because the engine bay is very orange, so we wanted to separate it all up a little bit. There is some orange in here, so don't worry. First off, though, we'll get all the ignition coils in. In you go, in you go, and in you go. And then that coil cover is in that orange on there, looking pretty good. Oil filter just down here in an orange on the block. Still looks good nonetheless. And let's go around the other side and get this all up to the same space. In you go on there. Get you all bolted up quite nicely. Then what I'm going to do, once it's all bolted up, I'm going to crack on and finish the front of the engine, minus a few bits I haven't mentioned yet. Get all the ignition coils in, and that spark plug that I missed, and the coil covers in, and we'll join it back in a second, without the torch on, when that is all ready to go. There we go. Pretty much all of the front all done, plus the coil covers on there and everything. So let's crack on with the serpentine belts. 1 here. 1 over here. Then we've got a belt tensioner, which we have done in the orange on the front there. Just add a splash more of that. And then the last idle roller just in the black. I'm losing my voice so much. I do apologise if it sounds pretty bad. I am sorry about that. Fuel filter in a lovely little white. And then we've got the intake manifold in the orange on the front centre there. Looking beautiful. Throttle, which I very nearly forgot until I just saw it out the corner of my eye. Just in a little black on there. Looking pretty good. Then we've got the 2 fuel rails, both in a lovely white. And then the last piece, or pieces to go on, is the exhaust manifold. Now that is in a white, looking absolutely fantastic. It doesn't go all the way front to back, but it does have a bit of exhaust sticking out the back. So we have matched all of that up, and hopefully it's going to look pretty good. There we go. I think that's all of that engine done. Quick spin around. Doesn't look like we've missed anything. Brilliant. So let's get you off. Off you come. And let's get you dropped into our beautiful BMW. In you go. Hopefully this is going to look pretty good. The game thinks the engine itself is white for some reason. That's looking good. Very, very pleased with that. It's looking fantastic, actually. Get a bit of light on it. You can see that it is a little bit darker on the actual engine than it is in the engine bay, but it still looks awesome. And nonetheless, without the torch on, you probably can't really see it that much. And if we had a bit of light in there, probably wouldn't be too bad. So there we go. That's that done. Let's get it up in the air, though. We got a gearbox to get in. We got a starter to get in. Drive shaft to get in. And then a couple of pieces of exhaust just to finish it off out the back. So let's crack on. Gearbox, in you go in a lovely white. It is a bit duller than the rest of the whites everywhere else because these do come out incredibly bright on the performance parts. Starter's just in a cheeky little orange because why not? Then we've got the drive shaft in a lovely black on there. Not quite perfectly lined up, but we'll let it off just because. There we go. In you go, and in you go there. And I think that's about it. Oh, yeah, the exhaust. I nearly forgot the exhaust. Hiding away. Middle muffler in a white. And then we got the rear muffler just coming out of the back there. Hopefully, that's going to look pretty good. If we crouch down and take a step out. Black through the middle into the orange cross member with that white exhaust coming down the back. Looking beautiful. Very, very, very nearly finished with this beautiful BMW. Liquids to top up, wheels and tyres. Then we get them windows tinted. Get this beautiful car outside in the sun. Well, here she is then, all finished with Lit's BMW E30 M3 in the Jägermeister livery by RobG. Looking absolutely fantastic. Loving it. And my voice is just slowly getting worse and worse. But there we go. Loving this vehicle. It looks absolutely insane. And remember, don't drink and drive. Be responsible if you do like to have a little drink now and then, especially with our Jägermeister sponsored livery on there. Not actually sponsored for the record, just the livery, but looking absolutely fantastic. Let's have a quick talk about these rims then. The rims I've gone for today are the rims 8A, and I think they look pretty good. You've got that two-tone effect where it's all black down the inside with them white sort of stripes on the outside there, looking brilliant. We've gone for a 17-inch rim at the front with a 275 width, a 25 profile, and ET of 20 as well, just to bring these ones out a little bit at the front. They're looking pretty sweet. The fitment looks pretty good. Quite pleased with them. Sticks out a little bit too far at the front, but as you go towards the back, they really, if I could get down there, they really don't stick out that much from the back. These rear rims, they're the same as a 17-inch rim, but they are 305 width with a 30 profile and absolutely 0 ET needed down here to finish that one off. Looking fantastic. Loving the AXK V8 in there. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. But let's jump in and check out this interior. Obviously, we've got some orange on the center of the seat there, just because I like the way it looked. Interior in here is fantastic. You've got that manual gear stick on there. Perfect for our lovely little M car. The rest of the interior, very, very nicely done. It's even got a tape deck. You can't see it, just next to the steering wheel there. That is a tape player. Absolutely love it. But let's get this one started. See what she sounds like. That's a mean sounding rumble from the AXK. Absolutely love that one. But let's give it some gas. Still sounding pretty mean at that top end. Hopefully this will do all right when we get it onto the drag strip. So let's get this beast into the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. On the dyno with our BMW M3 E30 in its V8 double overhead cam AXK engine with 403 factory horsepower. We put all the performance parts in today. So how much have we increased it by? And what will its drag rating be? A gain of 414 horsepower, 103%. I'm always happy when it's more than a whole new engine on top gained, bringing us up to 817 horsepower. We're not quite at the top end of the drag rating, but we are very close with an A 932 drag rating on this little beast. Let's go and have a look at the gearbox tuning setup I've gone for today. She's a 2.5 ratio with 103, weirdly, kilometers an hour in first gear and 387 recorded apparently top speed at the top end of a fifth gear in there. Obviously we have a fully tuned ECU ready to go and no carburetors because it doesn't need them. So let's get this over to the drag strip, see what kind of competition we're up against today, try and win another tournament. The BMW M3 E30 on the drag strip, ready to go. King of the Sands, 1 mile, especially in A-class. Pay our 1,000 entry fee. Well, here's who we've got in here today. Our first race in the beautiful BMW M3 is a Ford Mustang RTR Unicorn Street. Couple more Unicorns up here with 2 different Hammerdown Strahls, the VM Thor Edition and the normal Thor Edition up there. Couple more Unicorns, another VM Thor Edition. We got Buckshot in the Ford F100 drag. Calum in their wide body DeLorean. I absolutely can't stand this thing being on the drag strip. Luckily, we will only see it if we make it to the final. We've got a Fiat 500 of VM Bath. Love this one. This is a little beast against another Unicorn. Oh, sorry, Fastback. Not Unicorn. Not a Unicorn. Another Hammerdown Strahl S, a VM Thor Edition. Country Thangs in a Ford F100 drag versus another Ford F100 drag. Let's get into our first race. See how we do against the Street Edition Unicorn. A burgundy Unicorn Street Edition Mustang. That looks absolutely beautiful. Loving that. I'm going to have to build another one of these soon. I'm going to do a custom config. Hopefully it's going to be awesome. Up against our Jägermeister livery, the BMW E30 M3. Will we be able to take on the Mustang? Let's get in. Let's find out. Let's go. Off the line with our M3 into second. Maybe that tune wasn't the best. Bit slow into second there, but we're all right. At the moment, we're still winning. Can we keep it that way? Only just. This is a close race. Hopefully, it might stay close because I quite like them. We just need to get this beast across the line. I don't want to lose in my first race. Come on, finish line. Get here before the Mustang catches up. No, 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 no. Did we win? Did we win? We did win. That was a mighty close there. We had a 9.135 to the quarter of a mile. Under 10 seconds. Couldn't quite get this one under 9 seconds, which is a bit of a shame. We did the 1 mile in a 22.674 seconds. Very, very, very close there, with the Unicorn Street doing it in 22.699 seconds. We had a top speed of 361. They had a top speed of 377, so it was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. But let's move on. We've won the first race. Let's get into the second race, see who we've got. Well, race number 2, we're against another Unicorn. This time it's the version 1, which theoretically should be faster than the Street. So we might be going out in the second round, which would be a massive shame. Buckshot still in the F100 drag. Country Thang also still in the F100 drag. Let's get on with the version 1 Unicorn, see what we can do. The beautiful Unicorn in its version 1 livery. Absolutely beautiful, with the bronze wheels and the little bronze air trumpets just sticking out that bonnet there. Looking insane. Are we going to be able to beat it with our M3 E30 BMW? Let's get in. Let's find out. Let's go. Off the line. Come on. Into second. Oh, the Unicorn is definitely pulling away into third, but we are now taking back the lead into fourth. We seem to be doing better than we did against the Street Edition. So maybe the Street Edition is faster. Or maybe that Unicorn has just got a little bit of a bad tune. But we are well and truly winning this one. So let's get across the finish line and see what our times are. 9.243. That is not as good as our first run, which is a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. 22.784 to the 1 mile. Again, not quite as good. With the same top speed of 361 kilometers an hour. This definitely wasn't as close as it was against the Unicorn Street. So I'm pleased with that. We're going to make it to 3 races at least. Will we make it into the final? And can we win? Our next race is back against another version 1 Unicorn. So we beat the first one. Can we beat the second one? It might have a better tune, so it still might be difficult. And we've got Buckshot against Country Thang, both in the Ford F100 drag. So one of them two is definitely going to make it into the final. Will we be joining them? Let's have a look. Let's find out. Well, we managed to beat the first version 1 Unicorn. Can we beat the second version 1 Unicorn? Hopefully the tune isn't quite as good, and it'll be a much easier race for us, or it'll be close, like against the Unicorn Street. 3 Unicorns, 3 races in, but if we do make it to the final, we will be up against the Ford F100 drag. So let's try and get there. Let's go. Off the line. Obviously, Happy didn't manage to jump the lights. Into second, into third. Are we going to pull away like we did against the last one? It does look like it. So I'm definitely happy about that. We are still pulling away. So we're going to keep that in mind and hopefully get this across the finish line, make it into the final, and hopefully beat Buckshot or Country Thang in their Ford F100 drag. But for the minute, let's get across the line and see what our times were for this run. 9.262, so still not as good as our first run, which is a shame. 22.810. We're getting slower. We're getting slower as we go, but can we pull it back with our final run and get the best speed of the day and win the tournament at the same time? So it is Buckshot that's made it into the final versus our M3 E30. Are we going to be able to beat the Ford F100 drag? It seems to be doing all right. It's made it through. The only one that didn't make it through was the first race, but that already had against the Ford F100 drag. So it could be pretty good. And we know it's pretty good because we've done this one before. So let's get in and try and win. It's the final, the last race of the day. It's the Ford F100 drag. It's got a beautiful wheelie bar on the back and massive rear tyres with tiny little front tyres, as a drag build should be, against our beautiful BMW M3 E30. Not got particularly drag wheels. It's got slicks on it, but not massive ones at the rear. It does have a beautiful V8 in it. So we're going to try and win this last race. Let's just go. Off the line, into second. Probably not the best gear change there. Into third. We are pulling away massively from that Ford F100 drag truck. Is it going to stay that way, though, or is that going to have a massive top end and just fly past us any minute now? I certainly hope not. Let's just keep this going to the final. Hopefully, we can get in there and get some drag winning so we can make some profit. No, we can't. We have lost to the Ford F100 drag in the final race. That is such a shame. Was it our best run? Was it our worst run? 9.272 was our worst run. We just consecutively got slower. each race today. Maybe it's because of my voice. Maybe my voice put the car off. We shall see. 22.811 seconds to the 1 mile, so only just a tiny wincy bit slower than our last run, but still with a top speed of 361 kilometers an hour. Let's get this beast back to the garage. Let's get it onto the speeder board and see where it ends up in the mix. I think we've got like 60 vehicles on there now, and collect our drag strip winnings, even though we didn't quite win the tournament. There it is. Only 5,250 is the winning for coming second. But we still made some money because we paid 1,000 entry fee, so it still leaves us with 4,250 profit. Back to the garage we go and see if we can sell on our beautiful BMW for a little bit more profit. Well, there it is then, all finished with the beautiful Lit Edition version 2 BMW M3 E30, and she was pretty good on the drag strip as well. 36th out of 71 on the speeder board, which is not too bad at all. 9.135 seconds to the quarter of a mile, 22.674 to the 1 mile, with a top speed of 361 kilometers an hour from this absolute beast of a machine. Really loved it. Link in the description below if you want to grab this car for yourself. Also, link in the description below to this beautiful livery by RobG. It really is fantastic. He's done an excellent job on it. Looking beautiful, especially with that big old Jägermeister livery on the hood there. Looking absolutely fantastic. Well, let's talk some facts and figures. I bought the car for 51,002 and could sold it and made money of 3,277 before we even began, which is actually pretty awesome. But we spent 74,472 modifying, upgrading, and tuning this beautiful car to how you see it in front of you right now, pitting our total spend at 125,474. Will we be able to make some profit? Let's get in and take a look. All 100% finished, the beautiful Lit Edition version 2. I love to see it with a V8 AXK engine, double overhead cam, starting off with 403 horsepower. After all of our tuning and performance parts, we managed to get it up to 817 horsepower, a gain of 103%, which is pretty good. But we spent 125,474 to do that. Can we make some profit when we sell this one? We can indeed, and quite a lot by the looks of that. 316,355 is the sale price. Take away our 125,474 that we spent on it, leaves us with 190,881 plus our drag strip winnings of 4,250. Leaves us with a final profit of 195,131 from this beautiful car. Really love that engine. I think it turned out absolutely fantastic in the black, orange, and white on there. It really is looking good. But it's definitely time to say goodbye to this beautiful car. As I said, links in the description below to the livery and the car if you want to grab this one yourself. All available on the Steam Workshop. Off you go then, and BMW really did enjoy that one. But what have we got coming up next? Well, if we head over here, you can see on our trailer we have a beautiful jumpy game. We also have a lovely, beautiful Ferrari sat on this trailer. This is the Ferrari 458 Special Edition with 107,916 kilometers on there. We got it from the auction house, and it's all right. It's half decent. That's not bad. I'm quite happy with that. I reckon by the time we clean it, it'll be looking a lot better than it does right now. The engine in this one is the V8 double overhead cam AXK with 466 horsepower in this one. Definitely just that tiny little bit more powerful from the factory. Did we get a good deal when we bought this one? Absolutely not. It's a good job I made a lot of money on this one today, because 115,934 is what we paid, and I could sell it for 94,461, losing out on 21,473 before we even begin. So make sure you join us back here on Friday, 6 p.m. at GMT. Check out this beautiful Ferrari build that we're going to be doing. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of today's beautiful video. Leave me a like if you don't want to drop a comment. Share this video with your friends far and as wide as you want to share it. And have a beautiful, beautiful day, whatever it is you're getting up to in the world. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. And I apologise about my voice for the last time, but I had an amazing time at Electric Callboy.